Hey there, and welcome to this week's Sunday Musings, where every week I spend a little time talking about something that's on my mind. I also write a weekly blog hosted on Medium. You can follow and subscribe to me there and get a notification every time a new video and blog come out. You can find the link to the blog right here. I would also love to have a conversation with you. My link to the calendar is at the end of the video, so find a time that works for you and set a meeting. I would love to chat with you about these thoughts, today's topic, or any other. Today, I want to talk about connecting with others. It's a challenge to connect with others. During a recent survey by Cigna, it found that in 2020, nearly 61% of the 330 million people in the United States said they felt lonely. Granted, this was during a pandemic year where there was isolation, 6-foot distancing, or social distancing, masks, stay-at-home orders. But even before that, people generally, strangely feel isolated, alone. It's funny how in a room filled with people, you might still feel alone. And why is that? It's because you need to form connections with people. How many people? Depends on you. Some people need to have a Rolodex filled with dozens and dozens of people. And some people just need 1 or 2 or 3 close people in their lives. Some are extroverted and have never met a stranger. Some are introverted and just want to keep it close. And everything there is okay, and people between those extremes are okay. But you do need to have 1 or 2 or some people in your life that you have a connection to. Human connection is a deep bond. It's formed between people so that each of them can feel seen and heard. And it's a requirement of the human condition. People who do not have solid connections lack the ability to be compassionate even to themselves, may suffer in mental health and well-being. They may feel that their entire life is out of balance. Feeling alone or lonely is a symptom of lacking adequate connection to others. And it means that you have a wobbly foundation that you're standing on of people that you feel you can reach out to for support and connection. I am a strong advocate of having a good network of relationships and people in my life. I'm also an introvert. So going out and randomly networking isn't really my favorite thing to do. I prefer instead to be strategic and have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 close people that I can talk to, that I feel comfortable, that I can be authentic in myself to, that I am willing to give to them as much or more than I get from them. So how does someone go about actively building connections? There's 2 things you can do. You can deepen your current relationships, maybe with family, friends, coworkers. How? By making it more about them than at you. Ask them questions. Listen for what they say. Be there for them. It won't or should never be one-sided. If it is a healthy, balanced relationship, they will in turn ask you questions and listen to you. Maybe not in the same sitting. It might not be table tennis where you're volleying back and forth, but at some point. Sometimes people just need to feel heard, and they're having a bad day, and they need to feel that somebody cares enough to go, tell me about it. And giving them that gift of listening can really deepen a connection, and someday it'll come back to you. Really learning and taking an active interest, being present in your time with people, can deepen your existing relationships. How do you find new relationships then, especially if we're still going to be in a world where We might not spend as much time in face-to-face interactions. We may have more time in virtual connections. We may have all of these things. How do you build a network outside of family and friends? Well, there's a lot of opportunities out there. You can ask your family to introduce you to friends, or just say, hey, mind if I tag along? That can expand your network. You can join virtual communities for book clubs or industry groups. You can talk to people on LinkedIn and Facebook. There's all these huge communities where you can just start reaching out and participating. And maybe you'll connect with somebody and it'll become a deeper conversation. When you find somebody that you want to connect to, make time. And when you make that time for that one-on-one conversation, be it by text message or on the phone or in a video call or in a virtual space, all of these places are where community can be found. Make sure that you're present and focused on the person during that. Don't be sitting there screwing around on your phone while you're sort of not really listening or paying attention to them. Give them the same gift that you would hope that they would give to you. Have you ever been frustrated when you're trying to have a conversation with somebody and they're so distracted by the world around them that you don't even think you're being heard or seen? Do you really want to return that feeling to others? There are a million reasons that you can always put off reaching out to somebody. But there's really only one good reason that you'll make the active decision to deliberately reach out today. And that's because you're interested in making a connection. It is not a passive exercise. It is something active and takes time and is something that you should schedule. Those are my thoughts. How about you? How do you like to connect with people? What are your thoughts about increasing your network or deepening your current connections? I'd love to hear from you and have a conversation. And until next week, take care, and I'll speak with you soon.